Hey everybody, so today I'm going to tell you about my 5 favorite books of all time. So, the first one is Bunnicula by James and Deborah Howe. This is the 40th anniversary edition. So, this is a children's paranormal mystery novel that is about a family, including a mother, a father, 2 sons, a cat, and a dog. And it starts with the addition of a new member of the family, which is Bunnicula, a seemingly vampire rabbit. Um, this is actually the book that first inspired me to be a writer, so it held a very special place in my heart. I remember just thinking it was such a cool, creative idea to have a story told from the point of view of like the household dog. Yeah, so it's a really great book. The whole series is just very nostalgic for me. The second is my favorite book of all time, and I think it always will be. It's The Giver by Lois Lowry. So if you don't know what The Giver is, it's basically about this 12-year-old boy named Jonas who lives in this seeming utopian society, and he is chosen to be the next receiver of memory, which means he'll hold the memories of the history of the world. And through this training, he slowly learns that his society isn't as perfect as he was led to believe. I think Lowry did a really good job of writing a thought-provoking novel. It really makes you question, our freedoms and the consequences of choice, and and the importance of it as well, and of feelings and all that sort of thing. And it also, I really remember the first time I read this, I was 12 like Jonas, in 6th grade, and I remember thinking this world is so perfect, and then when the truth comes out, it's like a punch to your gut. And even now, this is my most reread book of all time, and even now, like, I still feel like, again, that punch to the gut every time I read this. It's so good. My next book is probably my second all-time favorite book. It is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. So this is a contemporary slash magical realism novel that follows 15-year-old Lee, who is half Taiwanese on her mother's side, and it takes place after her mother has committed suicide, and she believes that her mother has turned into a bird, and that the bird wants her to go to Taiwan to meet her estranged maternal grandparents. And so it kind of follows her journey there into trying to help her mother's spirit move on, while also connecting with that side of her culture. This is such a beautifully written novel. It deals with really heavy subject matter, but it does it in a way that's very careful and thoughtful. And the writing is very poetic, and I'm a writer and I also write poetry, so I really appreciate that. And this novel makes me feel things. Alright, next is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. So this is a YA murder mystery following a girl named Stevie, who is a true crime aficionado, and she is trying to solve the crime of the century. So this takes place in both past and present, which I really like because the timelines mirrored each other in a way that was really interesting to me. But the main reason this is my all-time favorite novel, in addition to it just being a really good book and really atmospheric, is because the main character suffers from anxiety, and I am also someone who has an anxiety disorder. And this is the first time I remember reading a book and feeling like the character, like I could relate to her. And I really appreciated how, though she had anxiety and her struggles with it were very real and part of her, it didn't define her. She had interests and values and talents outside of that. Like, it wasn't just a girl with anxiety. It was a girl who is smart and clever and, has this dream of being a detective, who also just happens to have anxiety. And I cannot tell you how much that meant to me. And finally, we have my most recent read of all my favorites, The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is actually the second book in the Folk of Air trilogy, which follows a girl named Jude Duarte, who is a human, but she has grown up in the land of fairies. And the series follows her sort of trying to find her place within the court and her, get power, basically. These novels, and it's particularly this one, are so well crafted. You can just tell how much thought Holly Black puts into them, and sprinkles in all these little details that are important later on. She's so good with that. And the characters and the world, everything's just so well developed. And she does a really good job with foreshadowing, which I've never been good at, so I'm very envious of that. I feel like if you're someone like me who likes to write YA fantasy, this would be a fantastic series to read, because I feel like it would really be a lesson in how to develop worlds and sort of yeah, everything. This is probably the best book, YA fantasy that I've ever read, and I put off reading it for a long time because it was so hyped, this series, and like generally I find really hyped, really popular books to be disappointing, but this was definitely not. And this is again my favorite of the three, but they're all good, and I recommend the series as a whole. So those are my 5 favorite books. In the comments down below, why don't you tell me your favorite books? I'd be really interested to hear them, and maybe I'll pick them up and give them a try. If you're looking for more bookish content, I have a blog. It's www.haleys, so Haley's, bookhaven.com, and I'll put that down below in the information bar too. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye!